welcome to another session of this 30 days journey of devotions. I hope you've been blessed so far. And hey, if you have not yet subscribed to this channel, what are you waiting for? Go ahead and subscribe, put on the notification, and so that when we release any episodes, you'll be one of the first people to hear about it. Why do you serve the Lord? Why do you serve the Lord? Have you ever taken time to ask yourself this question? Maybe it has not occurred to you, but I think it's a good time to peruse your motives for serving Jesus. Why do you serve God? Many times we tend to believe that we actually believe some of the things we do. But then when you take time to really peruse your thoughts and your motives, that's where you see why you do most of the things that you do. For many of us, we got drawn into Christianity maybe because we're born into a Christian home, and some reason we just found ourselves going to church here and there. And for some of us, we had the chance to really give our lives to Christ, or receive Christ. That's the right way to say it. But then again, we become more prone to the teachings and the things that we get to hear about Jesus, and not truly finding him for ourselves. And so for many people, based on the teachings that you've received over the years, your mind has been trained or indoctrinated to think that the reason why we serve the Lord is for the things that we get from him. And so for many people, the reason why they are in church is just because it's church. It's just because that's all they've known. That's all they've done with their Sundays since they were born, or since they gained consciousness. But then they do not really have a genuine purpose for serving the Lord. And for some people, it's because of a need. Because of a need. Maybe they are looking for something from the Lord. Maybe they are looking for healing. They are looking for the fruit of the womb. They are looking for divine protection or divine intervention, or they are looking for financial fortunes. So many things that have led them to come to the Lord. I mean, they are not bad in a sense for you to look out for yourself. But then beyond all of this, there is, or there should be, a purpose. And that purpose is to genuinely love the Lord. So the question now is, do you genuinely love the Lord? If we take away all the things that Jesus can do, if we take away all the things that God can do, would you still continue to love the Lord? Would you still continue to serve the Lord? Would you do that? And that's what I want to share with you today, that you have to come to a point in your Christian journey where you say, I'm serving the Lord because I love him. I'm serving the Lord because I love him. When you have this disposition in life, it will free you from the many offenses that many people find themselves in. So for some people, they are offended. They are no longer in the faith. They are no longer in church because they believe God for something and that thing didn't happen. Someone thought that because I believe God for healing and I was not healed, maybe God doesn't love me. Maybe there's no point in serving the Lord. Recently, my wife hired someone to come and drill some holes in our bathroom, because we live in a 1960s or 70s building, so it has a very hard concrete blocks and surfaces, which a normal drill cannot do it. So I couldn't do it. So this guy came in to drill the holes, and when the guy came in, we're having a prayer meeting, so he could hear me in one of the rooms praying, which kind of triggered his interest to ask my wife questions about what I was doing. My wife told him I was praying, and then my wife began to evangelize to him. So I was in the room when my wife came and said, "Oh, are you done? Can you come and speak to this guy?" He said this guy feels betrayed or disappointed by God because his mother died, and as a result of that, he feels that, God did not come in for him when he needed it. I really sympathize with him, but on that day I couldn't really come out because I was still doing the prayer meeting. So I gave my wife some pointers to discuss with him. God being so good, the next day he came because he couldn't finish the work. And so this time I had the opportunity to speak to him. Then I realized that this guy's disappointment was based on the fact that the result he thought he should have received from the Lord was not achieved. And so by that, he lost trust in God because of the death of his mother, which, I mean, any well-meaning person can sympathize with him. But then I had to draw his attention to the fact that we serve God because of who he is. And then for whatever happens, you have to determine and understand that God is good. God is good. So if what you're looking for, if God does not give to you, would you still love him? If you don't get the things you're believing God for at the time that you think you should get them, would you still love the Lord? Would you still continue to serve him? Come to a point in your Christian faith where you mature and say, I love God for who he is. I love him because he's my Father. I love him because he's my maker. I love him because he's my Lord. And not because of the things that I can get from him. Whether I get them or not, I still would love the Lord. I still would serve the Lord. And guess what? God in his goodness will always give to you what is in his will for you. I'll repeat that. God in his goodness will always give to you what he needs to give to you according to his will. And so I hope this blessed you, and I can't wait to see you in the next episode.